Hey guys, going tiny. We're seeing to go tiny. Okay, this is the little fence I've been working on. See, been working on my little fence here where my camper is. See, that's my little fence for my camper. There's my shack. I lived in this for a year and a half. My tiny house, 1998. My shack, 1998. I had windows in it and stuff. Here's the rest of my fence. The rest of my fence. Going tiny. I was tiny before. Does anybody know who the tiny house guy is? Um, Jay Schaefer is? I was tiny before Jay Schaefer was tiny. That's my tiny house. See, 1998. I don't live in it anymore, but I did. It's my original tiny house from 1998. I built it. I was tiny before Jay Schaefer. I won't either want to put wood siding on this truck camper, make it into a truck camper tiny house, like on the Truck House Life, the guy named Tim. You know, either that or I'm thinking about getting rid of this truck camper and getting a small travel trailer and putting the door in the back of it just like this and have a small travel trailer and put wood siding on it and make it into a tiny house. I really don't have to travel. I like to stay here, and when I do want to stay in my tiny house, it can be like a, place to be, whether it's here or my grandmother's property or a friend's property or a friend's farm. I can take it around, be a nomad, but semi-nomadic. And you can even go out into the desert in a quartzsite, and stay in quartzsite in your tiny house. You can take your tiny house, like Jay Schaefer's tiny houses are better than a lot of your modern tiny houses. I like Jay Schaefer's because they're truly tiny. And so here's the inside of my fence I put up yesterday. It's all garbage privacy fencing. It's all garbage privacy fencing that came from the garbage, and have a little more privacy working on my camper. And if I put my tiny house here, it'll have privacy too. But here is my rig. I just wanted to show you again. The truck camper tiny house. With wood siding on it, and I could go anywhere or stay here. So I still have body work to do on my truck, and if I didn't want to keep this truck, I can get an SUV even. And if I had a small enough tiny house, I can pull it with my Trailblazer. The Trailblazer has a 5,000 pound tow rating on the Trailblazer. So I could actually pull a small travel trailer, like a 14-foot travel trailer, made it into a tiny house. Take your tiny 14-foot travel trailer, put wood siding on it, and take the roof off and put a gabled roof on it with a little loft in it. You know, that'll be your truck camp, your small tiny house. So my channel, Nomadic, is good, but I want it to be nomadic. It doesn't have to be full-fledged nomadic, just semi-nomadic, Because if I have to live like Coates and Elvis Travels and those people, I will if I have to. But living like that is only a have-to case. You see, it's a have-to case. If I have to live like that, I will if I have to. But if I have a place to park my tiny house for long periods of time, then I will. And people are asking me when I'm going to get out and travel. But I mean, this for me, I saw the van life, the RV life, as a financial freedom. I saw it as a way of financial freedom. That's what tiny is for me. And RVs or tiny houses, it's financial freedom. And so that's what I think of financial freedom. You're right to be tiny and live financial freedom without being tied to a mortgage or something. And if you have a house and you can't afford to pay your house payment, you can always rent the house out. If you have to keep your house from having it taken away, you can rent out your house. But I just wanted to say, put wood siding on this and make it into a real tiny house with wood siding on it. And then take it off the truck, sit it down on the ground on my concrete blocks like it was before. I don't have to travel all the time. If I have a place to put my tiny house for long periods of time, I can keep my tiny house in one spot for long periods of time, years in one spot. I don't have to travel. I don't care about traveling all the time. Traveling sometimes, but I don't want to live in a parking lot all the time. Now with where I'm at, these are my blocks, parking blocks that I made, leveling up the camper. My refrigerator is not working too well on propane. It's up to 53 degrees right now on propane, so it's not doing well on propane, so I'm going to have to figure out why. Get to do something. But yeah, tiny homes, tiny living, going tiny. A tiny house, you know? I mean, traveling is okay, but if anybody, give me a shout out. If anybody, I mean, I can travel. Thank you, Jesse Skeeter. It means, and these are these kind of wheels on one side. I need some rims just like this for the other side. It's got 8 lug nuts. Payload capacity 3,442 pounds. 3,442. That's my payload. You can see with the camper on here as my leaf springs. 3,442 payload, 3/4 ton, 2,500 GMC 2,500. You know, so and this is not even squatting really. This camper on here, it's not squatting much. Yeah, this is what it's like. But tiny homes. So give me a shout out for tiny homes. There's one called RelaxShacks.com. That Derek Diedrichson, whatever his name is. I like his thing, his Derek Diedrichson. You know, Diedrichson at RelaxShacks.com. So I'll his channel. I'm gonna let you guys go.